Hello learners, you are welcome back to my class. We are still solving questions on determinants. In my last video, we learned about determinants of 2 by 2 matrices. In this video, we'll be focused on determinants of 3 by 3 matrices. So like I explained in my last video, that matrices are a group of elements arranged in rows and in column. So before we move into today's class, let me briefly remind us of our last class on determinants of 2 by 2 matrices. Determinants of 2 by 2 matrices. So this is an example of 2 by 2 matrices. This is an example of 2 by 2 matrix because the elements are arranged in rows and what? And in column. So we have two rows. This is the first row. This is the first row. This is the second row. Then we have two columns. This is the first column. Then this is the second column. So we are going to pick the number of rows before the number of columns. So 1, 2. We have two rows. So that is 2 by. Then the number of columns now 1, 2. We have 2 rows and 2 columns. So that is why we call this what? 2 by 2 matrix. 2 by 2 matrix. So to find the determinant of this matrix, so you are going to replace your box or bracket with sign of determinant. This is the sign of determinant, 2 vertical lines. Then you bring in your elements 2, 1, 3, 5. So now to find the determinant of this matrix, you cross multiply. You cross multiply. So you assign positive to the first column. You assign negative to the second column. So now you take this number 2 times 5. 2 times 5. Don't forget that this 2 is positive. So 2 times 5, then followed by this minus. Minus 1 times 3. 1 times 3. So 2 times 5 will give you 10. Then minus 1 times 3 will give you 3. Equal to what? Equal to 7. So the determinant of this matrix equal to 7. So that's about 2 by 2 matrix. So let's talk about 3 by 3 matrices. Let's talk about 3 by 3 matrices. So this one consists of 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 rows. Then column 1, 2, 3 by 3 columns. So that is why we call this what? 3 by 3 matrix. 3 by 3 matrix. So this one too is an example of 3 by 3 matrix because we have 3 rows and 3 columns. Now how can we solve questions on 3 by 3 matrix? So let's take example 1. So example 1 consists of the following elements. We have 3, 5 and 9. Then the second row we have 7, 6, 1. The third row we have 2, 1, 4. So to find the determinant of this matrix, so we are going to change this bracket to the sign of determinant. So we change to the sign of determinant. Then we have 3, 5, 9. So we have 7, 6, 1. Then 2, 1, 4. So assign what? Positive and negative to the first, second, and third column. So to the first column, you assign positive. To the second column, you assign negative. To the third column, you assign positive. So you alternate the sign. You alternate the sign. So to find this determinant now, so you pick the first element. So this is the first element on the first row. So you are going to make use of your row now. So you pick the first element. So this is our first element, which is 3. So now you are going to rule out. So let me bring this number down here again. 3, 5, 9, 7, 6, 1. Then we have 2, 1, 4. So I want to pick the first element. I want to pick the first element, which is 3. So by the time you pick the first element, you are going to rule out the rows where that element appear. So the element appear on this row. So rule out this row and rule out the column where that element appear. So when you rule out this row and this column, you will be left with 6, 1, 1, 4. Then you cross multiply. You cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, so 6 and 4, you are going to have 6 times 4, 6 times 4, then minus 1 times 1, 1 times 1. So you have picked the first element. You have picked the first element on the first row. Then you move to the second element. Now let's move to the second element. That is 5. So we have 3, 5. Let me repeat those elements again. We have 3, 5, 7, 6, 1, then 2, 1, 4. I've picked the first element, so I want to pick the second element. I want to pick the second element, which is 5. So you pick the second element, so that is minus 5, because it will go with this sign. So you are going to say minus 5, then into brackets. So you rule out the row and the column which this element 5 appear. So rule out the row and the column. So by the time you rule out this row and this column, so you'll be left with 7, 1, 2, 4. So then you cross multiply. So you cross multiply. So 7 times 4. You are going to have 7 times 4. Then minus 1 times 2. 1 times 2. Close the bracket. So I've picked the second element. So now the next one is the third element on the first row. The third element on the first row. So let me repeat those elements so that I'll be able to understand. So we have 3, 5, 9, then 7, 6, 1, 2, 1, 4. Plus, minus, plus. I've picked the first element, the second element. Now we want to pick the third element. We want to pick the third element. So the third element will go with this positive sign. So we are going to say plus 9 into brackets. Into brackets what? Now rule out the column where this 9 appear and the row where the 9 appear. This is the row where the 9 appear. So we are going to rule out the row and the column. So we'll be left with what? 7, 6, 2, 1. Then you cross multiply. You cross multiply. So we are going to have 7 times 1. 7 times 1 minus 6 times 2. 6 multiplied by 2. So close the bracket. So let's start solving now. So let's open the bracket. So the next stage now, we are going to have 3 into bracket. 6 times 4 will give us what? 24. Then 1 times 1 will give us 1. That's minus 1. Close the bracket. Then minus 5 into bracket. 7 times 4 will give us 28. 1 times 2 will give us 2. So minus 2. Then plus 9 into bracket. 7 times 1 will give us 7. Then minus 6 times 2 will give us 12. Will give us 12. So let's solve it further. So here we are going to have 3 into bracket 24 minus 1 will give us 23. That will be 3 times 23. Then minus 5 times 28 minus 2 will give us 26. Will give us 26. Then plus 9 times 7 minus 12. Let's bring this one in bracket. 7 minus 12 will give us minus 5. Minus 5. So this one and this one are together. This one and this one are together. So let's solve further. So equal to 3 times 23 will give us 69. Then 5 times 26. 5 times 6 will give us 30. That will be minus 0. 5 times 2, that is 10, plus 3, that is 13. So will give us 130. That is 5 times 26 will give us minus 130. So this minus times plus will give us minus. 9 times 5 will give us 45. 69 minus 130 minus 45. Let's take negative and negative. You are owing someone 130. You are owing another person 45. So how much will be your debt altogether? 130 minus 130 minus 145 will give us minus 175. So we are going to have 69 minus 175. So 69 is your own. So by the time you pay 69 out of your debt, out of this 175, so your debt will remain minus 106. So the final answer is what? Is 106. So the matrix of this, the determinant of this matrix is 106. So let's move to question 2. So the next one is question 2. So elements in the matrix consist of 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, and 3, 7, 1. So we are looking for the matrix of this, determinant of this matrix. Then what type of matrix is this? How many rows do we have? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 rows by how many number of columns? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 columns. So we call this 3 by 3 matrix. So we are looking for the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix. So we are going to replace our bracket with the sign of determinant. That is 2 vertical lines. So this is the sign of determinant. Then we bring in our elements 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, and 3, 7, 1. So you assign positive to the first column, then to the second column negative, to the third column positive. So you alternate your signs. You alternate the sign. So after that, so you pick each element on the first row, one after the other. You pick each element on the first row, one after the other. So now let me repeat our elements here so that we'll be able to understand it better. So we have 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, then 3, 7, 1. So positive, negative, positive. So I want to pick the first element, which is 1. I want to pick the first element. So you are going to pick 1 first. So that is 1 into brackets. You pick this one. So you now rule out the row where this number 1 appear. Rule it out. Then rule the column where this 1 appear out. Rule the column and the row out. So you will be left with 4, 2, 7, 1. Then you cross multiply. You cross multiply. So that will be 4 times 1. 4 times 1. Then minus 2 times 7. 2 multiplied by 7. So you are done with the first element. You are done with the first element. Now let's move to the second element. So the second element on the first row. So I will repeat my element again in the box. So we have 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, and 3, 7, 1. So we have minus, plus, minus, plus, plus, minus, plus. So I want to pick the second element, which is minus 4. So you pick minus 4 now. Minus 4 into bracket. Now rule out the what? The row where this element appears. So this element is on this row. You rule it out. Then this element 4 is on this column. So you rule the row and the column out. So by the time you rule this row and the column out, then you cross multiply. So we are going to be left with 1, 2, 3, 1. So you cross multiply. So here you are going to have 1 times 1. 1 times 1. Then minus 2 times 3. 2 times 3. So you are done with the second number. So we want to pick the third number on the first row. So let me repeat those elements again. 1, 4, 2. 1, 4, 2. 3, 7, 1. So plus, minus, plus. So I want to pick 2 now. I want to pick number 2. So number 2 we go with plus. So we are going to say plus 2 into brackets, plus 2 into brackets what? So you rule out the what? The row where these 2 appear. Then rule out the column where these 2 appear. The 2 appear on this column. So you rule the column and the row out. So we'll be left with 1, 4, 3, 7. Then you cross multiply. So by the time you cross multiply, you are going to have 1 times 7. 1 multiplied by 7 minus 4 times 3. 4 multiplied by 3. So let's open the bracket. So here we are going to have 1 into bracket. 4 times 1 will give us 4. Minus 2 times 7 will give us 14. Then minus 4 into bracket. 1 times 1 will give us 1. Minus 2 times 3 will give us 6. Close the bracket. Then 2 into bracket. 1 times 7 will give us 7 minus 4 times 2 will give us 12. So let's solve it further. So equal to 1 times what we have inside the bracket will give us what we have inside the bracket. So 4 minus 14. 4 minus 14 will give us minus 10. You have 4, you are owing someone 14 naira. So by the time you pay your debt, it will remain what? Your debt will remain minus 10. So minus 10 times 1 will give us minus 10. So minus 4 into bracket. So here we have 1 minus 5. 1 minus 5. You have 1 naira. You are owing someone 6 naira. So by the time you pay your debt will remain minus 5. So 1 minus 5 will give us minus 5. So close the bracket. Then we have 2 into bracket. 7 minus 12. You have 7 naira. You are owing someone 12 naira. So by the time you pay 7 out of your debt will remain 5. So that is minus 5 because you are still owing. So equal to, so minus 10. Minus 10. So minus 4 multiplied by minus 5. Minus times minus will give you plus. We give you plus. Minus times minus will give you plus. 4 times 5 will give you 20. Then plus times minus, because I want to use these 2 to open the bracket. Plus times minus will give you minus. 2 times 5 will give you 10. Now, let's bring negative together. Then let's bring positive first. Plus 20 is positive. So we are going to have 20 minus 10 minus 10. You are owing someone 10 naira. You are owing another person 10 naira. So your debt will be what? 20 naira. That is minus 20. So 20 minus 20 will give us 0. So the final answer is equal to 0. So we have come to the end of this class. If you are watching me for the first time on YouTube and you have not yet subscribed to Royal Learning Channel, kindly do so by clicking on the subscribe button to join Royal Learning Channel community. And don't forget to like, share, and leave comments. See you in my next video. Bye.